Tonight, President Obama will speak to the nation in what will be his final State of the Union address. Joining us, House Majority Leader, Congressman Kevin McCarthy. And we're also going to talk to Jason Furman. We're going to have you actually respond to Mr. Furman. But, Leader McCarthy, you got to go first here. I mean, I've seen enough written. I think you know what's going to be in the president's speech. It's hard to respond to something before it's already been given. Where do you think, if you were going to deliver a State of the Union from the opposing side, what do you think the State of the Union is right now?
Well, from what I read, it sounds more like a farewell tour than a State of the Union, that he's going to change it up. But I think there's still a lot more work to be done. I think the American people want to see this economy grow. I mean, if you look at median household income, we are lower today than we were in January 2000. And that's a real challenge that we have before us. Look at from Paris to San Bernardino to Philadelphia now to Istanbul this morning. This world is not safe. And I think we need a much stronger foreign policy to put America and put the world in a safer and more secure position.
Well, Leader, your side and the President have differing views on how to accomplish these things. I don't know if I'd be urging him that there's a lot more work to do over the next year, because he's doing it his way already. I mean,
that has not worked very well, has it?
Well, it's worked well for him in terms of doing things that subvert, the legislative process and to do it on his own. So I don't know if I'd be urging him that, there's a lot more to do, because maybe you ought to wait till the election to try to affect some of these things, because the GOP would do it a lot different.
Look, we'd do it a lot different. And this weekend, right after this State of the Union on Wednesday, all the Republicans in the House and Senate will get together for a conference and a retreat. And we'll do it for the next couple days, and we'll be working on and talking about new big, bold ideas, from tax reform, health care, welfare reform. You look at this positive disruption that's happening in the economy, it's happening in politics, the idea from a taxi to an Uber. Think about the transformation we could have in government if we had that positive disruption at the same time. Think of what the VA system would look like then. These are the changes that have to be made. We're living through the fourth industrial revolution. It's happening faster than ever before, but government is way behind. And when we have these, people get greater choice. There's more accountability, and actually government will be smaller and more efficient.
Right. People probably, the voter probably gets tired of hearing one side claim all the good things. That's what we're going to hear in a moment, that the unemployment rate and, the jobs that were created in 2015 and, inflation being low, all that because of the Obama administration, and the negative side with income inequality and stagnant middle-class wages, that's because of the intransigent GOP Congress. And then from from you guys, they're going to hear that, well, under this president's policies, there's been a stagnation in middle class. And so, I mean, people get tired of it. I don't know what the answer is.
Look, people want to see government work. They want to see a solution. And that's why I sit here from one perspective, and I can work with anyone who wants to work. And, yeah, you can put a lot of different numbers from unemployment and others, but walk across the country. Why is the participation rate the lowest it's been since 1978? Why are there 94 million Americans out of the workforce in the process as well? So there's so much room for improvement here, and that's why I don't think it's time for a farewell tour. Right. It's time to actually solve problems.
I mean, you can argue about whether things are great or not, but even if they are better than we expected, this is with zero interest rates for 7 years, and we still aren't strong enough to go up above a quarter point. After all of this help, we still aren't strong enough. So that's the bottom line, no matter what the unemployment rate is at this point. We're still barely above stall speed in the worst recovery since in the post-war period.
This is the worst coming out of any recovery in the process, and it's the longest. So from a couple different perspectives, why don't we take a new approach?
Maybe you'll hear something about tax reform, corporate tax reform tonight, but I don't think I'd be holding your breath, Leader.
Well, if he doesn't say it tonight, I'll guarantee you it's going to be said and mapped out at the retreat this weekend, because we know we have to have tax reform if we want to be able to compete across this country and across the world.
Okay. Congressman McCarthy, Senate Majority Leader, we demoted you earlier, but well, we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
As I said, hope springs eternal for certain. But anyway,
thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right.